Welcome to the Thurston County Board of County Commissioners meeting for Tuesday, April 6th, 2021. My name is Ty Menser, Chair of the Board. Present is Commissioner and Vice Chair Gary Edwards and Commissioner Carolina Mejia. The public may follow along on our county YouTube channel or through a conference call 360-252-9020. PIN is 1234. We are calling this meeting to order. It is 2:02 p.m. and we're going to begin with the Pledge of Allegiance to be led by Vice Chair Commissioner Edwards.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We would also like to start today with a land acknowledgement. We would like to acknowledge the indigenous people who have lived on and cared for the land and waterways of this county since time immemorial and who still inhabit the area today, specifically the Squaxin Island, Nisqually, and Chehalis people, our sovereign tribal partners. I would entertain a motion regarding approval of the proposed agenda for today, April 6th.
Yes, I'd like to move to approve the Tuesday, April 6th, 2021 agenda.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion carries. Is there a motion regarding board meeting minutes from March 23rd?
Yes, I would like to move to approve the board meeting minutes from March 23rd, 2021.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. We now have a presentation scheduled from our Public Works Department, an introduction of new Public Works employees, and we have some Public Works staff here to help us do that.
And I believe Tim Wilson is going to take the lead on this.
Very good. Tim Wilson, I'll turn it right to you, Tim.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Tim Wilson, Water Resources Division Manager, Public Works. Public Works Division Managers are here today and are excited and pleased to introduce several new staff to the board. As the county engineer is out of the office this week, I have the pleasure of introducing new staff from both the Water Resources Division and the Office of the County Engineer. Following those introductions, Karen Weiss, the Financial and Asset Management Division Manager, and Lucy Mills, the Road Operations Division Manager, will also introduce new staff. And since we will be introducing a number of new staff to you today, I would ask if you would prefer managers to pause between each introduction, or would rather we move through the entire list of staff introductions.
How many do you have, you say, Tim?
Oh, I would guess 7 or 8.
Oh, wow.
Maybe just go through them all, please.
Yeah, I'd say go through them.
Okay. With that, first up, I'd like to introduce our new Water Resources Utility Planner, Torrin Valdez. Torrin joined Thurston County in February, supporting the work of the Technical Services team in the Water Resources Division. Torrin holds a bachelor's degree in sustainability and has 6 years of experience in the environmental field. Torrin joins us from the Department of Ecology. While there, Torrin held the position of Water Quality Grant and Loan Financial Manager. Originally from Broken Bow, Oklahoma, Torrin has experience working in states across the country, including as a visitor service intern at the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. Welcome, Torrin. Next, I'd like to introduce our new communication specialist, Dana Bowers. Dana joined Thurston County in March and will be supporting the work of the outreach team for the Office of the County Engineer. Prior to working for Thurston County, Dana spent 6 years as an education and program coordinator for Stevens County Conservation District in Eastern Washington. She holds a bachelor's degree from the University of Alberta, Canada, and lived in South Korea for 6 years, teaching English as a second language before returning stateside to work in education and outreach. Welcome, Dana. Third, I would like to introduce our new right-of-way agent, Daniel Graham. Daniel joined Thurston County in March and will be supporting the work of the right-of-way team in the Office of the County Engineer. Daniel is a longtime Olympia, Washington resident, and prior to working for Thurston County, she was a licensing manager for the Department of Licensing. Welcome, Daniel. And with that, I would turn it over to Karen Weiss.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Tim. Karen Weiss, Thurston County Public Works. I'm here to introduce 4 new staff, although I think only 3 of them were able to join me today. And just to be prepared, Mark and Alicia, if you can turn your cameras on so that we can have faces when we introduce you, that would be great. So the first 2 I'm going to introduce are new members of our Financial and Asset Management Division. So I'd like to welcome Corey Lee. She is a new senior office assistant that we have, and she is primarily supporting our noxious weeds and lakes, our stormwater maintenance and operations, and our water and sewer utilities group, although she definitely provides service to all areas of public works. She joined us in December, and she previously lived in Utah, where she worked at the Davis County Assessor's Office, working her way up there to the office manager position. And she has over 12 years of providing high-level customer service and administrative support. So we're thrilled to have Corey with us. And next, I'm going to introduce Mark. I'm going to assume, because I do not see Mark's face, that perhaps he is having camera issue. Oh, there he is, Mark Kramer. Mark Kramer joined us in January. He is an accounting assistant 4, and his primary area of support is for the solid waste accounting division. And so Mark came to us from Tulare County in Central California, and he holds a bachelor's degree in accounting from California State University, Fresno, and has been working in the accounting field for the past 6 years. So again, welcome, Mark. Now I'm going to put on my interim solid waste manager hat that I actually took off on Monday, but I'm going to wear it again for a moment today. And with that, I'm going to introduce Alicia Barrientos, and also Jordan Hoskison, who is not able to be here today, and they are our new scale house operators. Both Alicia and Jordan began work as seasonal or temporary employees in the fall, and then we had a couple of vacancies for full-time positions open up, and they did such a fantastic job for us that we were able to hire them on full-time in February. So Alicia is a graduate of University of Washington, and she is planning to pursue a career in the medical field, I understand. And so she also works for Eco Woodworks and restores historical homes and structures in the South Sound area. And from what I hear, she is just a ray of sunshine, brings a lot of positive energy to the solid waste division out there. And then Jordan, who's not able to be here today, he is a graduate of Rochester High School, a Marine vet, and he is studying to be a firefighter. So with that, I will pass the baton to Lucy, I believe.
Good afternoon, commissioners. Sorry for the tight quarters here. Today, I'd like to introduce 2 new assistant maintenance techs, and then I'll let them just say a word about themselves. So first, Jacob Owens. Jake, would you want to say something?
Just happy to be here. I've got 9 years of construction experience, 4 years as a safety superintendent, but just happy to be here.
And then our other assistant maintenance tech is Quentin Hamilton.
I appreciate the opportunity to work with Thurston County. I came here from WashDOT.
And that's all the new staff that we have. Thank you.
All right, is that the roundup, Tim?
Yes, yeah, that's it.
Commissioner Mejia, anything, any comments?
Congratulations, and I'm excited for all of you and joining the Thurston County family. I look forward to meeting some of you more on a personal level. I am the representative for the SWAT committee, so I'm pretty sure I'll be working with some of you along the lines, and I look forward to continue working with you.
Commissioner Edwards?
If you have to work, this is the best place to do it.
County manager?
Welcome.
I echo what Commissioner Edwards stated. Welcome to the Thurston County team. You're going to be finding there is a tremendous value that you're going to be bringing, obviously, to the team, is also to the citizens of Thurston County. And I believe at the same time, you're going to find that Thurston County is going to provide you with opportunities for you to do the best. Welcome aboard.
Awesome. Yeah, please welcome. Former Commissioner Hutchings used to say something that I really liked, so I'll repeat it, which is that, and for the county, for almost all the positions that we have open, we have a lot of applications. And we don't start at the bottom of the list, we start at the top of the list and pick the best people. So we know by virtue of you being here that you are the cream of the crop in terms of applicants. And so we're very thrilled to have you. And we just hope that you'll stay with us and develop your careers right here in Thurston County. So with that, hope to see you in person.
Yeah, thank you.
Time soon. Thank you, Tim, Karen, and Lucy.
Thank you.
All right. That takes us to opportunity for the public to address the board. We have opportunity for in-person testimony. I have one person signed up. We will go to Zoom and phone after that, but in person, I have been provided Ed Lewis. You'll have 4 minutes. Let me give a brief guidelines before you get going. We welcome comment from the public at all meetings of our 2 p.m. Tuesday meetings. We have a few guidelines. Introduce yourself. Tell us the area of the county in which you reside. Address the board, not audience or staff. The board does not respond to the comments directly, but the county manager will follow up on an as-needed basis. You have 4 minutes, but you cannot donate that to any other speaker. Please avoid comments that are lewd, offensive, inflammatory, hateful, defamatory in nature. No outbursts or commercial comments. Written materials provided to the county will be considered public records and may be subject to release pursuant to the Public Records Act. And no remarks about pending land use permits or other similar matters that could eventually come before the board on appeal. With that, Mr. Lewis, go ahead. You have 4 minutes. Raise the mic there for yourself.
I'm Ed Lewis. I live in District 1.
You move the microphone closer to, please. Thank you, sir.
I live in District 1, and I have a problem I need some help with, or have someone at least look into it. I'm putting in a Glendon septic system. They're kind of a proprietary special septic system that you have to have a certain guy to put it in. And because of the COVID, these pods I need to put it in, they're still not making them. I've been struggling with it all year. Bunch of time, bunch of money. And I simply wanted to ask if you could look into it, reconsider another extension, or give the health department the authority to give some kind of authority to give out exceptions to stuff. So I'm obviously not a speaker, you may have noticed.
Do you have a parcel number or perhaps permit number that I can use?
Yeah.
If you can leave that with me, I will follow up.
All right. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis. Is there anybody else in the boardroom that I cannot see? Ask the county manager.
I don't see anybody else in the boardroom. Ma'am, you like to testify? No? We don't have anybody in Zoom.
Yep, I recognize
And
all of you.
let me check the conference call.
Look it up.
Good afternoon. For those members of the public who have joined us via conference call this afternoon, if you'd like to provide public testimony before the Board of County Commissioners, please unmute yourself, introduce your name, where you reside in the county. You have 4 minutes. None, sir.
Okay. We'll move to item 2 on today's agenda, which is the county manager's update.
I don't have any specific updates for you today, Commissioners.
Okay. We'll move to item 3, which is our consent agenda. Are there any requests to pull an item off of this agenda from the board? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion on these items.
Consent item.
I would move to approve consent items A through D.
Second.
I believe we have through E.
It's D.
A through D.
A through D, sir?
A matter got stricken this morning.
I'm working from this morning's agenda because I did not get an updated agenda.
Oh, I'm
Sounds
sorry,
like
we moved one item out of this morning's agenda to next week, so I apologize if we didn't give you these items A, B, C, and D.
All right, that was, okay, B, that's right, I remember now. B from this morning was moved. So, okay, so we have a motion and a second. Did I hear a second?
Yes,
Yes.
second.
Okay, motion and a second to approve items 3A through D. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye, motion carries. Apologize for that. Then we'll move to item 4, central services. And please correct me if I've got something out of whack from this morning because I'm still using the morning's agenda. Item 4, bid award for courthouse building number 5 parking lot.
Yeah, Commissioners, for your considerations to award a contract to Becker Blacktop LLC from Sumner, Washington, to provide overlaid work on the parking lot of building number 5 here at the courthouse campus. Mariusz Kolowiecki is here to introduce the item. Mariusz, are you there?
Yes, I am here. Good afternoon. And I'm just will confirm this project is to overlay asphalt on parking lot of building 5, which is part of courthouse campus. We establish a base bid with 2 alternative items, and we received low bid, which is allowing us to propose this to commissioners for approval. If there's need for more descriptions of project, I'm ready to provide.
Commissioner Mejia, anything?
Yes, I have 2 questions. What fund is this, I guess, repair coming from?
So this is an ongoing project out of capital reserves, which are collected separately for each building with site. And based on priority set by consultants, the most critical item right now on list for building 5 is this parking lot, which is deteriorating year after year, and each year of waiting is inflicting more costs to actually upkeep it. So this was a decision for this priority set, and we are really well overdue for this parking. The parking is well over life cycle already based on heavy use, while credit union was located there.
Thank you. And my second question is in regards, is this something that was in the budget for last year?
Yes, we could not finish this project for 2 reasons. One was the COVID, second was the really weather conditions. This type of project is better to conduct, especially in spring. Spring is perfect time for asphalting, for pavement, and is providing long-lasting product. So this is why we bid this, we get low bid, which was too part of biding climate hopes. And now we are ready to do it when weather is right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I guess I'd just take this opportunity to compliment staff because I know we'd considerably budgeted a higher amount to deal with this particular problem. And maybe my question would be to the county manager, what happens if we end up with spending less money than budgeted, where is that money going to go? Back into the repair fund?
No, it will go back to the building reserve fund for building 5.
Okay, thank you. That's it, sir.
Thank you so much, Commissioner. I appreciate opportunity to present this project.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
Yes, sir. I'd move to award a contract for the Courthouse Building 5 parking lot, project 25595, to Becker Blacktop LLC of Sumner, Washington, for a total of $84,839.70 and up to 10% contingency, and to authorize the Assistant County Manager to sign the contract and any change orders due to unforeseen conditions only, not for changes in scope that do not exceed 10%.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion?
No, sir.
No, sir.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Mariusz.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Item 5 is community planning and economic development. There are 2 items connected to the docket for 2020-2021. And Maya Teeple is here. County Manager will set this up there.
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner. Items 5A and 5B are related to the 2020-2021 comprehensive plan docket, as well as the development code docket. And those are following the direction of the board to include those items for your final consideration. Maya Teeple is going to introduce those items and give you additional historical perspective as to how we got here on those 2 items. Maya.
Thank you, County Manager. Good afternoon, Commissioners. Maya Teeple, Senior Planner with Community Planning. Items 5A and 5B before the board today are to request that the board adopt the revised official dockets. Specifically, I'll provide details on 5A at this time and then provide details on 5B when we move into that item. Each city and county under the Growth Management Act is required to have a procedure for any interested person to suggest a comprehensive plan or development code amendment. In Thurston County, any suggested amendment is first added to a preliminary docket for consideration by the board, who then determines which items are placed on the official docket. On April 28th, 2020, the board adopted 2 official dockets for the biennium from 2020 to 2021. And the county continues to receive applications on a rolling basis. And any applications that are received by November 15th are considered by the board for addition to the docket in the following calendar year. By November 15th, 2020, the county received 4 new applications, 3 of which were citizen initiated and 1 of which was board initiated. In early 2021, on February 18th, Community Planning briefed the board to provide an overview of the status of existing officially docketed items and to review the 4 new proposals that were received. Following that work session, the board moved forward 2 of those proposals, the Emergency Housing Ordinance and the Beaver Creek Land Use Amendment, to a required 20-day written public comment period to consider adding them to the official dockets. Public comments were solicited from February 26th to March 19th, 2021, and the board reviewed those public comments at a following work session on March 24th. At that work session, the board provided direction to bring forward the 2 proposals on the revised dockets for adoption at a Tuesday meeting. The attached 2020-2021 official docket of comprehensive plan amendments has been revised to reflect the guidance of the board at that work session, and adds the Beaver Creek Land Use Amendment and removes 2 other completed comprehensive plan amendments. The Beaver Creek Land Use Amendment specifically considers a site-specific land use amendment and rezone and will be subject to its own public review and comment. Each item on the official docket will go through its own public review and comment before any final decision is made by the board. Some of these amendments are multi-year projects and others may or may not be complete within the current year. This motion before the board under 5A is for the board to consider adopting the revised official docket of comprehensive plan amendments. And that concludes my remarks, pending any questions you may have.
Questions for Maya, Commissioner Mejia?
Do we know when we're going to discuss a priority? Kind of out of left field, I apologize.
As far as I understand, the board provided additional direction. The priority will remain the same, and this item will go at the bottom of the priority list. That's my recollection of the initial board's direction. But if the board would like to reconsider that priority, certainly let us know, and we can bring that for a further consideration and discussion.
Could I just clarify something I didn't hear completely from the county manager, and that is that should the board choose to reconsider placing Beaver Creek on higher position on the list, we could bring that as an issue and have a discussion on that and possibly change.
Yeah, the board has the ability to set priorities as you see appropriate. And again, based on my recollection of the discussion was that the majority of the board already agreed, I believe, on maintaining the current priority and bringing this item to on the last of the priority list. But that doesn't mean that you as a board can bring this item for a further discussion among yourselves.
And basically what that means is we do have flexibility if things change and we need to make a choice.
You as a board of county commissioners have always flexibility.
Thank you. I'm glad to hear that, sir. Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Edwards, anything else?
No, sir, I made my comment. Thank you.
Okay, then I guess we'll look at each of these as a separate vote. So I would entertain a motion as to 5A.
I would move to approve the revised 2020-2021 official docket of comprehensive plan amendments, adding the Beaver Creek land use amendment and removing completed projects.
Second.
We moved and seconded. Any further comment or discussion?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Nope. I would make the comment, I guess, that the Beaver Creek amendment had quite a bit of community interest, and a lot of the concerns that I heard from the community members were somewhat technical in nature, and things that I'm going to need more information to be able to properly assess about agricultural land and policy, about GMA. There were questions that our staff was not in a position to answer about growth management requirements and whether this project will be able to will clear certain hurdles that are required. And then water issues are always very important and I think relevant around that area because there's Beaver Creek. That's why it's called Beaver Creek Amendment. We've got Beaver Creek and some water related issues. So the board asking for this to be on the docket is really a board's recognition that this is a technical review that gives us more information to make a better decision. There will be multiple additional public input pieces. And then on the priority, I just wanted to say that really the prioritization is a combination of factors. It's not just a cold, what's the most important project? There's an overlaying of time and where staff is on the different projects that factors in. So I just want folks to understand the board is not assessing the quality or our interest level. We might have an incredibly high interest level in a project, for example, but it goes to the bottom because we've got 7 other projects that are 70% done and need to get finished. Something like that, just as a theory. So I don't want people to read too far into the discussion today. This unrolls over 2 years and sometimes longer. And in an absence of a really good reason, I'm always going to put the new things at the bottom of what's already been started and gone before. So there's really nothing more to it than that from my perspective. So with all of that, we've got a motion and a second. I'll call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. And then I think we've already gotten our background here on 5B, so I would entertain a motion on, oh no, we haven't. We haven't talked about 5B, have we? No, Maya needs to tell us how we got where we are.
Thank you. I'll provide a quick overview. Maya Teeple, Senior Planner with Community Planning. The content that I just went over regarding the briefing dates and the public comment under 5A applies to this item as well. From the board work session in late March, the board provided direction to add the emergency housing ordinance and remove 6 completed projects from the official docket. The emergency housing ordinance considers making existing interim regulations permanent, and those interim regulations specifically provide the director the flexibility to waive certain requirements for permitting of a homeless encampment in the event of an emergency. Each item on the official docket will again go through its own public review and comment periods before the board makes a final decision. Some of these amendments may be multi-year projects and not complete within the current year. The motion before the board on item 5B is to consider adopting the revised official docket of development code amendments. And that concludes my remarks on this item.
Commissioner Mejia, anything on 5B?
No, sir.
Commissioner Edwards?
No, I think we'll have discussion on it if I make a motion though, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I'll wait.
Then I'm ready for a motion then. That's all right.
I would move to approve the revised 2020-21 official docket of development code amendments, adding the emergency housing ordinance and removing completed projects.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Further discussion?
Yes, there is.
Go ahead, Commissioner.
My concern with this is that currently we don't have anything mandating treatment for mental health issues or drug addiction issues. And without that requirement in place, I'm afraid we're just moving the problem out of Olympia. And if Olympia doesn't change its philosophy, we'll just have a backfill of new people that will come to Olympia, and then we'll be faced with possibly putting one of these camps out in the unincorporated area of the county. And my constituents have made it perfectly clear to me that that is not what they want. They'd like to see treatment be a requirement for drug addiction and mental health. So that is why I am opposed to this at this time.
Do you think, Commissioner Mejia?
I think we've had plenty of discussion at the docket setting.
Okay. I would just say that this ordinance, the reason that I'm in favor of making it permanent is it's a tool in the toolbox of the county commission, and we have an emergency ordinance, but it has some inflexibility that would make it pretty much useless. So in order to sort of activate the intent of this, I think we need to make these revisions, and there's no reason. We've been doing them on an interim basis every 6 months. And that just causes extra staff. We have an extra public hearing. I mean, if I haven't heard a compelling reason not to have this tool in the box. It may be something the commission never does. I would say that in terms of talking, Commissioner Edwards talking about his constituents are very much against the idea. I've been invited to speak next week at a association of Olympian neighborhood associations. And I asked them what topics they would like me to address. And they gave me 3 topics. And one of them is, what is the county going to do to potentially locate sites outside of Olympia and into the county? So obviously there are some constituents that see this issue differently. I think we'd have to see the proposal and the specifics before we would be doing anything to activate it. But this is to give us the latitude to consider something like that and not have an ordinance that's not inflexible and doesn't work on the books. So I do support and it'll save staff time, frankly, and commissioner time once we get it done. So hopefully this will not be an onerous item for our staff. And with that, we've got a motion and a second. I will call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
Nay.
Okay. We've got motion carries 2-1. Thank you. Maya. Okay, item 6 is Public Health and Social Services rent assistance contract with Department of Commerce.
Thank you, Commissioners, for your consideration is to approve any local agreement with the Washington State Department of Commerce to receive money to continue to support the rental and utility assistance as a result of the impacts of the COVID-19 emergency. Tom Webster is going to give you additional perspective on this item.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Tom Webster, Program Manager for Public Health and Social Services, Office of Housing and Homeless Prevention. So as the County Manager said, this is a contract with the Department of Commerce to receive money under the U.S. Department of Treasury Rent Assistance Program. The funding is for $10,210,000. This is a second allocation of funding under this Treasury program that the county has received. Previously in January, the county received approximately $8.7 million directly from the Department of Treasury. to support rental assistance and utility assistance programs. So this is an allocation of the same federal source, but coming through the Department of Treasury. After we sign this contract, our intent is to pass these funds to the Community Action Council, who's implementing this program, as well as a smaller contract to Community Youth Services to specifically target young adults with these funds. These funds can be used to pay for rental arrears, as well as future rent, past utility bills, and other home costs, including internet services. The funds expire September 30th of 2022. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Questions from the board for Tom?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. Tom, if community action, is there an easy way that folks can connect to Community Action Council if they need to? Is it easiest to call a number or get on the website, or is there something you have handy that I could refer people to? I'll be out in the community tomorrow, actually down in Rochester Grand Mound, and I want to be able to talk about this.
Yes, actually, thank you for that. So after our rental assistance program last fall, Community Action Council had a waiting list of around 300 people, and they've been working through that. They've also been hiring staff to handle this influx of new money and additional funding that we're receiving. So we're planning to release an announcement tomorrow morning that Community Action Council is opening up for appointments beginning tomorrow morning. For these new funds, including the funds we've previously received as they've worked through their wait list. So folks will be able to go to the Community Action Council's website directly and make an appointment. They can also call Community Action Council. And if you give me 1 second here, we also have something to go up on the county webpage that will be posted tomorrow. They can call Community Action Council at 360-438-1100, and they're going to press 8 for the housing option. And that will allow them to help schedule. So that schedule will not open until tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, Tom, Commissioner, quick
Yes,
follow-up.
go ahead.
Can you, Tom, elaborate on who will receive the payments of this assistance?
Yes, payments for these assistance for those who are eligible, payments will be made directly to landlords as well as to utility providers. So these are not payments that in almost all instances are paid. They are not paid directly to the applicant, but they are paid to the landlord or the utility provider.
Thank you.
Okay, is there a motion?
Yes, sir. I would move to approve the interagency agreement between Washington State Department of Commerce for the Treasury Rent Assistance Program for $10,210,939 and authorize the Director of Public Health and Social Services to sign the agreement and any amendments that do not change the amount by more than 10%.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. That brings us to 6B, also Public Health and Social Services Amendment to Regional Housing Council Interlocal Agreement.
Yes, Commissioner, this particular item is related to an action the board already took back last year, I believe September of 2020, approving a new local agreement forming the Regional Housing Council. And at this point, this particular item is for you to consider an amendment to that in-local agreement to specify how the 1406 funds will be utilized in the region. Tom?
Thank you. Tom Webster again with Public Health and Social Services. So 1406 is a revenue. The county retains and jurisdictions retain revenue from the state. So it is not a tax increase. but it's additional revenue that we're able to retain to be used for affordable housing activities. So this interlocal agreement establishes the process by which the jurisdictions of Lacey, Olympia, Tumwater, and Yelm, as well as the county, will pool their 1406 resources together to support a regional housing project. The process established in the ILA has for the Regional Housing Council to recommend that project to be approved and go to the legislative bodies of each jurisdiction for support before it comes before the county commissioners for final approval. So that is what the amendment to the interlocal agreement adds to explain that process. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions
from the board members.
I guess the only thing I would say is we've kicked this around quite a bit, had a lot of discussions on it. I'd say that for the public that is observing this meeting, and we've covered all our questions earlier. So no, I have none. Thank you.
Commissioner Mejia, anything?
No, sir.
This might be a question I have for Ramiro or Tom. I think that at least Ramiro has communicated to us by pooling our $1,406 across the county jurisdictions, we can then bond potentially, and potentially there was a dollar amount I think you attached, like this would support a $5 million project, or this would support a particular size project based on the bonding capability of the pooled $1,406. Ramiro, do you recall what I'm talking about?
Yes, thank you, Commissioner. Yeah, one of the elements of this legislative action, which is House Bill 1406, that's what we call the 1406 funding, allows for bonding up to 20 years. Now we're probably 18 years only into this because this allocation of the state sales tax that goes to this particular effort has a sunset date of 20 years. So I believe one of the extremely flexible ways as to how we can spend is allow for bonding in the long term. So that really gives the Regional Housing Council an opportunity to think about a larger project. They may consider and bonding this particular funding source is a way to build this larger project. So yes, that is on point, Commissioner.
Okay, thank you. Is there a motion on this?
Yes, sir. I would move to approve the amended Regional Housing Council interlocal agreement regarding the ways Regional Housing Council members will pool Senate House Bill it's SHB 1406 funds to support affordable housing activities in Thurston County.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Tom. Brings us to item 7, Public Works. Resolution and call for sealed bids for the Vale Road Southeast Improvements Phase 2 project.
Yeah, for your consideration, this item is to authorize Public Works to call for sealed bids and secure the services of our contractor to do some road improvements along Vale Road Southeast. Marcus is going to introduce this item with additional details. Marcus.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Marcus Storvik, Civil Engineer with Public Works. Public Works is requesting permission from the Board of County Commissioners to call for sealed bids for a contract to construct rural road improvements, providing safety improvements along Vale Road Southeast. This is between 138th Avenue and 153rd Avenue. Vale Road is an arterial road that provides access for over 2,600 vehicles each day from parts of southeast Thurston County to State Route 507 and the city of Yelm. The 50-mile-per-hour road is narrow with roughly 10-foot wide lanes and narrow shoulders. This section of road is fairly straight and flat. Improvements to this section will connect previous road upgrade projects along Vale Road. This project includes reconstructing and widening the travel lanes to 11-foot wide and adding 5-foot paved shoulders, making clear zone safety improvements and increasing the sight distance. Various techniques will be used to improve clear zone safety, such as removing hazards like trees, power poles, and other structures, and also flattening the slopes outside the shoulder. These proposed improvements will improve safety for vehicles and pedestrians. This project will also upgrade the stormwater treatment along Vale Road. The estimate for construction is approximately $2 million. Public Works has leveraged our own funds and received a grant of $1.7 million from the County Road Administration Board's Rural Arterial Program. The remaining funds of $300,000 will be funded from the County Road Fund. This project is in the 2021 Public Works budget, the 2021 to 2026 Capital Improvement Plan, and the Transportation Improvement Program, and is in alignment with the county's strategic plan, Initiative 2, to improve community health, wellness, and safety, and Initiative 8, to support robust and well-maintained infrastructures for a thriving community. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have at this time.
Commissioners, Commissioner Mejia, any questions for Marcus?
No questions at this time.
Commissioner Edwards?
No, sir. We've had lots of questions and answers, and they've done a good job explaining that. Thank you, Marcus.
All right, me neither. So I'd entertain a motion.
I would move to approve a resolution and call for sealed bids and authorize the county engineer to set the bid date and time for receipt and opening of said bids for the Vale Road Southeast Improvements Phase 2, 138th Avenue Southeast to 153rd Avenue Southeast. Project is CP number 61450.
Second.
Been moved in second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, Jesse and Marcus. Okay, so we're winding down. We have item 8 under County Manager. 8A, Commissioners to report on board work sessions, assigned committee meetings, community events, providing updates on actions taken or any upcoming issues. Start with Commissioner Mejia.
I guess just what I've been hearing from constituents just dealing with land use and zoning, and of course just COVID vaccination efforts. Other than that, yesterday was the JASCOM meeting, and they have a lot of projects that they're working on. One of the things that we're going to be looking forward to in June is having a retreat where we're going to actually set a strategic plan going forward, and I think that's a good way, a good goal to set for animal services. Other than that, that's it.
Commissioner Edwards?
I had a lot of fun on Zoom meetings. Zoom meeting for the Economic Development Council, and COVID was actually the focus, COVID-19. The Lewis Mason Thurston Area Agency on Aging, another fun Zoom meeting, and COVID again was the main focus. And I might comment that the seniors were pretty impressed with the county's staff's ability to get them shots, because a lot of those folks are in that demographic that they were very worried about shots. Then another Zoom meeting with the Washington County's risk pool. That went on for a couple days, and but we didn't spend any gasoline money. So again, mostly liability issues that county governments around the state have to deal with. And then another Zoom Thurston Regional Planning Council meeting. And transportation ended up being probably the main focus of that meeting. Had a good interview with Kurt Harding, our emergency management manager, and myself, with the folks that are purchasing the Capital Medical Center. And the focus of that particular meeting was, how can that organization do a better job for the citizens of Thurston County in whatever realms that they serve? So that ended up being a feedback session that they were asking for, and I think they went away with some good ideas. Thank you to Kurt Harding for his expertise. And I guess I would mention the Nisqually Tribe meeting that we had
Thursday.
Okay, and that was joint issues of mutual concern between the tribe and the county, and involving my seatmates and the tribal council folks out there. And pretty productive, and we're looking forward to more meetings of a similar type to work on problems that are affecting both of our organizations. And maybe my seatmates might have more to add. Thank you. That'll do it for me.
Thank you, Commissioner. I had a wide variety of things over the last 2 weeks since we last had the board meeting. I represented the county in a racial equity forum last 2 Wednesdays ago, I think it was, where a group of social service organizations had wanted to hear from elected officials about issues related to racism and the, well, not specifically our declaration, but that did come up. Had meetings, a couple of follow-up meetings actually sprang from that. I talked a lot about our law enforcement assisted diversion program. And so there were questions, and I had a couple of follow-up meetings with stakeholders there who wanted to let me know about certain things and learn more about what we're trying to do. Had meetings with our local state legislators about the Blake case and what the different fix proposals that are in the legislature, and drawing on some of my criminal justice background and helping them sort of sort through the different approaches and what might work for that issue. Had 2 days worth of Salmon Recovery Council, where we have every other month we meet for a whole day, and then we had a second day which was a retreat following up on the all-day meeting. So it amounted to 2 full days of salmon recovery policy work, Thursday and Friday of week past. And then did a tour with the City of Olympia's homeless coordinator of the scattered site locations where the proposed, we were supposed to discuss that this morning. It got bumped till Thursday, but I went on a tour of all the sites and talked to some of the residents to see the challenges that they're up against and what we might be able to accomplish with this program that we're going to be discussing on Thursday. So that was very useful. And with that, I will ask County Manager to review our combined schedule.
Thank you, Commissioner. Let me walk you through your combined schedule for this upcoming week. Is where at least 2 commissioners will be present. You may have individual appointments on your individual calendars. Those will not be part of my report. Excuse me. After this meeting, nothing for the remainder of the day. Moving on to Wednesday, April 7th. 10:30, you have the opportunity to welcome new employees who have not come to the Board of County Commissioners meeting. At 1:30 in the afternoon, April 7th, you have the first executive session related to potential litigation the county has with another party. And at 2:30, another executive session related to a different case, also involving the county's litigation. Moving on to Thursday, April 8th, 9:30 in the morning, you have a briefing related to the capital asset inventory report, and that is in accordance with RCW 36.32.210. At 1:10 in the morning, you have the commissioners check-in, which an agenda will be posted 24 hours in advance. And on Thursday, April 8th at 4 in the afternoon, you have a joint work session between the Lacey City Council and the Board of County Commissioners. And let me take a little time to explain this a little more in detail. This is a work session that is going to be conducted remotely. There will not be an in-person meeting. And the public can follow via live stream the City of Lacey is hosting. Also, the public, if they go into the City of Lacey website, and we'll make sure to provide a link here in the county's website as to how they can join both via Zoom and also via a conference call. We have posted the agenda for the public to review. Some of the items included on the agenda is introductions. The next item will be an update from our Public Health and Social Services Director, Shirley Slaughter, related to the COVID-19 and vaccination status. Also, we have an item that will be having current item with the City of Lacey is related to annexations and updates. The other item that will be discussed, the House Bill 1590, that's related to the Home Fund. and then followed by the conversation related to the American Rescue Plan Act. And that will give an opportunity to have a conversation with your elected officials, fellow elected officials from the city of Lacey. And there will be enough time after those items on the agenda for you to have information sharing. And that will be the items will be discussed at this upcoming joint meeting. Nothing on your combined schedule for Friday, April 9th. Moving on to Monday, April 12th, you have at 12 noon, your standing Washington State Association of Counties Virtual Assembly. And then you will move into Tuesday, April 13, 9 in the morning, will you have your regular agenda setting where we'll be reviewing the agenda for that day and the following week. And that's all I have for you today.
Okay, thank you, Ramiro. With that, we are adjourned. Appreciate
Thank you.
everybody's-
Thank you, sir.